What's up, rest friends? Look at the camera angle. We're giving new angle
rest
today.
friend.
Period.
With the championship behind us.
I look at that. It's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the mamas that are watching us. Shout outs to you, mom.
Feliz Dia de las Madres.
Shout outs Madrina, because love her. I still have to
We
text her
wouldn't
best
be
friend.
here without them.
We best friend, we really wouldn't.
No, we wouldn't.
Says a lot. Says a lot. Look at what is my brow doing right now?
Please, you look so cute.
Best friend, we went out on a boat in the morning, and let me tell you, it was windy, but it was hot. The sun was beaming down.
Yeah.
And I was not ready for it.
How was that though? How did your parents enjoy that? Were they being dramatic? Mexican parents are dramatic.
They really are. My mom was taking pictures of everything.
Love that.
And I feel like that's just a mom thing to do. Like moms take pictures of everything. Same thing with my dad. My dad was like, oh my God, look it over there. My dad, he loves to be like, if we're in the same room and we're both looking at the same things, he'll be like, look. He'll show me what it was. And I'm like, I also saw it. Thank you for making me aware. I appreciate it.
You know what? Yeah, you're so right. They are always taking photos or they're on live.
Yes. No,
like
they were on Facebook Live.
Were they?
They were both on Facebook Live.
I love that.
10 out of 10, honestly.
Yes, I love that so much. You know what? It's Mother's Day. They can get away with anything, especially today.
You know what? One of my neighbors on Friday, they were like, oh, women here are lucky if they're Mexican because they get 2 days of Mother's Day, because technically on Friday it was Mother's Day in Mexico and Sunday we celebrate today. So yeah, no,
it's so true. Sometimes because Mother's Day in Mexico is May 10th, sometimes it will fall on the same day on the Sunday, right? And they still want it to be separate. They're like, no, even if it's on Sunday,
yes,
we want 2 separate celebrations. And it's like, okay.
Shout outs to Scott for watching with us tonight. He says, good evening, rest friends. Thank you for watching, Scott. We absolutely appreciate it. You are one of our faves who's always watching. And shout out to Bestie who says, let's go. Period. They're outside. I know that's right. They loved going on the boats. And honestly, I love those little things that we can do where we're still like tourists. And I think it's just fun for me because I like Lake Michigan. We saw the Bean from far away because it's closed.
Still not open. Yeah.
And then Buckingham Fountain finally turned on
yesterday. Turned it on already?
The fountain's ready to go. And that's one of my favorite places in Chicago. And we saw it from the boat. So
nice.
10 out of 10.
So nice. I love the city. There's so much to do. Even when you've grown up here, we've been here for
forever,
25 plus years already.
Yeah.
And there's still so much to do.
Oh my God. Okay. So Bestie said the edited bean, and I'm cracking up right now because I don't think I told you this. When Lo and I were driving downtown, I don't remember where we were going because she was here for C2E2 and she flew in from Vegas, and I think we were going to dinner or lunch. I don't remember, but we passed by the bean and I'm like, oh my God, look at the bean. I was like, it's being edited right now. And I don't know why I said that. I meant to say like under construction, but I was like, they're editing it. Like,
you were in work mode.
I really was. I was like, it's being edited. The frijol, you can't go to it right now. It's being cleaned. So, and Lo was like, what? And I'm like, oh, that's not what I meant. So sorry, Bestie. I was like, but you know what I mean.
That makes sense though, because it is being edited.
But she knew what I meant. She knew what I meant. So Eddie, he says, first time here. Eddie, thanks so much. Welcome to Rest Friends. Did we introduce ourselves? I don't think we started. What's up, Rest Friends? My name is Edie.
And my name is Teddy.
And you're listening to the Rest Friends podcast. 5 minutes in, finally, an intro. This is how we do it around here. I think we get so excited with the live stream that sometimes we're like, we got it.
Yeah, you don't want to forget what to say.
I know.
So
I have my script on the side over here, all my little notes. So let's start off the podcast today. If you guys can't stay on air or the stream with us, don't worry, because you can find the Rest Friends podcast anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. But we always appreciate a little bit of interaction. So we are going to start off with C2E2. I'm so excited, Rest Friends.
I know. This was what, 2 weeks ago?
Maybe 3 weeks ago.
Maybe 3 already?
Yeah. So the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, it's something that we love to go to every year. We get press passes, and there's always honestly a little bit of everything. There's wrestling, there's celebs, meet and greets, autographs, there's a bunch of merch, action figures. People are getting tattooed. There's food, and I love it. There's panels. There's so much, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I wish they had more wrestling content. I wish they had more. I felt like this year there was less wrestling anything.
Yeah.
For the artist, we didn't really see that much what do you call it, like art, stickers.
Yeah.
Even with the vendors, they obviously they had the figures and the Funko Pops, but I feel like that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I do wish they had more wrestling content there, but it's still so much fun.
Yeah.
We spent so much money there.
Oh my God. I had forgotten about that. Honestly, I'm still recovering. I'm going to Double or Nothing in like 2 weeks. So I've not yet financially recovered from the Comic-Con here in Chicago, but let's talk about how that went. So C2E2 was here in McCormick Place about 3 weeks ago, and it was honestly like a bestie vibes only at C2E2 because Lo, who we've seen here, shout outs to Bestie, Wrestling Wine Down, 10 out of 10. She flew in from Vegas to attend the Chicago Comic-Con, and my bestie was there. Your bestie was there. How did you convince Neri to show up?
Well, she's an anime fan now.
Okay.
And I had been telling her for a very long time, like, you need to go to a convention. And if anything, C2E2, because I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what convinced her. She's really getting into more anime now.
Yeah.
And she also loves to spend money. So the minute I told her there's just a bunch of vendors that sell all this good stuff, she's like, I'm there. She bought her ticket.
She's like, say less.
Exactly.
I'm going.
You saw that. You witnessed that.
Yeah.
You witnessed her doing her shopping, getting excited.
Yeah.
Being upset. We'll talk about those boxes.
Yes. So Lo and I and my brother, we did 2 out of the 3 days. But we all did Friday, which I honestly think was the better day out of all of them. And I think it was a smart decision that we decided to buy everything that we wanted to get at the convention that day, because Lo and I went back on Saturday and it was complete chaos. It was so full. Everything was packed. It was just like honestly day and night from when we had gone Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad that we all got to do our shopping together, that we were able to see, because I feel like we were still able to like spread out and there was so much space. You could absolutely not do that on Saturday.
I believe you. We've gone through that the previous years, but also they sold out Saturday this year. So I knew that it was going to be so packed, and I'm so glad I only went on Friday.
So let's get into it. So Friday, Lo and I had planned the first thing that we were going to do when we got to C2E2. Rikishi was going to have a panel. Yeah. I want to say it was called like Rikishi or Kishi and the Island of Dreams, which is his comic. And it was said to be like a panel about comics and anime and the relationship to hip hop and just kind of all that stuff. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh my goodness, I think this is really cool. Like, why not go to a panel first before we hit the show floor? And we had only walked one aisle of C2E2, which is literally like 10% of C2E2, right?
Yeah.
So we had gone, and I'm like, all right, it's getting to be, I think the panel was like at 11:15 or something. So I'm like, all right, let's start like heading back to the panel. We were there a little bit early, and the room was pretty big. And I'm like, okay, nice situation for Senor Rikishi. Love it. 10 out of 10. And we're just kind of waiting there. Minutes are passing by. The room is filling up little by little, and we can tell because like people have their wrestling shirts on them. I'm like, okay, so they know what's up. Something's gonna happen, right? And 11:15 comes around and Rikishi's not there. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. Maybe he's getting stopped by fans. You know, it's Rikishi. Yeah. Why would people not be stopping him to like ask for autographs or take pictures? And nothing was happening. 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, and I'm like, where is Rikishi? And a staff member was like by the table, and we heard them talking. The room was not full, so we can hear their conversation. Lo and I sat in the front row, okay, because we got there early. I was like, we're sitting in the front. I am making eye contact with Rikishi.
Best seats.
Yes, best seats in the house. And it was just he didn't show up.
He didn't show
up. One of the guys who was, I guess, was in charge of like hosting the panel or something, he's like, hey, unfortunately, this panel is canceled. And he didn't even say
Just
anything.
like that.
It's canceled. And a nice lady who was sitting next to next to me and Lo on like the other side of the aisle. She's like, yeah, Rikishi's like, and I don't remember what state she said, but it was not Illinois. Okay. He was not in Chicago. And I was like, why would you put him or why was he not here? First of all, I had so many questions.
No, I mean, yeah, if he was in a whole other state, they could have obviously avoided the room even being open and everyone walking in expecting to still see Rikishi, right? I mean, it's not like, oh my god, so upsetting.
Yeah.
But that was still weird. He was in a whole other state and they didn't let you guys know till
Yeah.
10-15 minutes after.
Lo said it was Alaska.
Oh, what did you say?
Anchorage. I didn't say
Other
one.
state. Okay.
He could have been literally anywhere. But it went from to Chicago to no Chicago. That's how we started. That's how it ended.
That's literally how we started too, because that's where I was meeting you up.
Yeah.
Nitty and I were gonna meet you in Low there, and we were about to enter, and they're like, "Wait, I'm sorry, what are you here for?" And I'm like, Rikishi," and they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry." They were being so apologetic, to be honest, at the door. They're like, "We're so sorry, he's not here. It's canceled." And I'm like, "Oh,
it happens. It happens, right?" But I want to say that if in the morning because the girl found out that he was not in Chicago because he posted it on his story or like the night before that he was not there. I don't know. I guess it was just bad communication on someone's part.
yeah."
But I don't blame C2E2. Don't blame Rikishi. It's probably honestly a miscommunication. But I was really excited to see that comic. And when we got there was like a box on the corner and it said like something like merchandise or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, are we all going to get a free comic? I was so excited. And then nothing. I didn't get no Rikishi and no comic.
Oh. well, at least that was just the beginning of the day, right? Like,
yeah, the day, honestly, the day got way better.
It did. It did. We still had to go around the convention and
it was great. So after we left the room, that's when we met up with you and Neri. And we were like, oh my God, it's going to be the 4 of us girls. Because my brother had already left me like he usually does at Comic Cons. I had asked him if he wanted to go to the panel and he said no. And he walked away. I was like, wonderful. So yeah, I was super excited because as soon as we walked in, when Lo and I had walked in initially before you guys got there, we saw that K-pop table and we were like, oh my God. I was like, Teddy's going to love this.
Though Nidhi and I passed it when we were on our way to go look for y'all at the panel. And I was like, I had to kind of pull her away. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, nope, we're going to be back. We're going to be back. And we were back.
Yeah.
It was really, honestly, it was really cool seeing something K-pop related. I felt like a lot of people are like, does K-pop fit in a convention? But why doesn't it?
Absolutely does.
It's a bunch of nerds as well, to be honest with you.
It's just it's a big fandom, just like anything else.
Yeah, it is a huge fandom.
So we were really excited because my brother was like, oh, Jungkook. And I'm like, oh my God, Teddy loves him.
I do love him.
He was like, oh, he was so excited. I was like, really? Everybody said, "Who? Jungkook?"
Oh, I love that.
But yeah, I was like, oh man. I was
conoce al primo.
I was like, I have to tell Teddy because she's gonna pop. So yeah, it was, and that was only the first aisle of C2E2.
That one.
And McCormick Place is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, convention centers in the US. So we know that we have to do a lot of walking going into it. So I was prepared, but I was really excited because I'm like, oh my God, there's so many tables. There's going to be so many vendors. I'm super excited to go to Artist Alley, which is one of our favorite little sections where literally it's just tables and tables of people who make art and these little stickers and keychains and literally everything under the sun.
Yeah.
So I'm always excited to get to like walk the floor and see maybe new vendors, the new art. Some artists have like special Chicago exclusives, which I absolutely love. And every year I usually get something from this artist who makes like a special Spider-Man drawing. And then he'll put the location or something
like the skyline.
Yes. I was like, I'm looking for a picture, but I don't have one on me right now or like in here. But a lot of the art that I've gotten is like from C2E2.
Yeah, that's so true.
So like those two I have, Eddie from over there, and then last year Britt Baker, that's where I got her. The rest are like Rob Schamberger, who's now working in AEW, but he was the artist in residence for WWE for like 10 years. But now he's in AEW. He's making art from over there. And I'm so excited
I
because
thought
I'm
he
like,
was working for both.
no,
That can't be a thing.
yeah,
Oh,
no, now he's in AEW.
okay.
And I'm so excited because before he had painted the Bucks.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna get new paintings. I mean, he couldn't because he was only for WWE for a long time. So I'm like, oh my goodness, we're gonna get new art. I'm so excited.
That's so true.
Yeah. Eddie's asking the important questions. Are we from Chicago? Yes.
South side.
South side.
Yeah.
When we were on the boat ride, we passed by Soldier Field, and the tour guide was like, oh, and there we go. There's Soldier Field, the home of, and I was like, the Bears. And he said the Bears. And I was like, you just got to, you have to. So yeah, so the guy didn't have a Spider-Man exclusive this time. He had a Deadpool one. And I was like, oh, Mario would love this. But I'll see if I can find it later on the guy's website. But I was like, I want a Spider-Man one, but there was nothing. I was like, put Spider-Man in front of the frijol, do something. Yeah, he didn't have it this time. Shout outs to Bestie, so Chicago. Guys, follow me on TikTok, Iridian Fierro 1, because there's only one.
Follow her on TikTok.
I just posted, I think, the greatest TikTok I've ever made. If you watched Victorious, Trina Vega did a one-woman show, and she sung Chicago, and I remade that while I was on the boat. So,
did you?
Yes, it was great. 10 out of 10 content for me, I think. I also put it on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram, Iridian_Fierro. But then follow us on Rest Friends.
Please.
At Rest Friends. It's on the bottom of the screen. Rest Friends on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. We're literally everywhere.
Follow them both. You're literally everywhere.
Rest Friend, where can they follow you? What if you want to know about you and your life?
Rest Friend, what is there for me? Hopefully one day.
Want to follow you?
Hopefully one day. But honestly, all the content, it's all you, and I love that. I have to watch that. Which Rest Friend? You know what though? I love that.
Thank you, Rest Friend.
You're keeping us alive.
Okay.
I owe you. I mean, I owe our life to you, Rest Friend.
You better stop it. You better stop it, Rest Friend. No, I owe it all to you, Rest Friend.
No, you better stop right now.
We're gonna not us crying. Do y'all do watch alongs? We don't do watch alongs, but that's something that we absolutely want to get into. We've done a couple of reactions to like WWE trailers, to some video game announcements. So make sure you like browse our channel, go through it if this is your first time here, guys. We have a lot of cool stuff. We have interviews, vlogs. We had a Christmas week that we did. Remember when it was just all Christmas content? We made wrestling gingerbread cookies.
Oh, that was the best.
Remember that?
Yes. Yeah, that was so much fun.
Yeah, so that's just we're testing different types of content. I played the AEW mobile game, which was crazy because they kidnapped Hangman, Rest Friend.
Yes, I remember that.
And it was only 2 episodes in, and I said, "Whoa, where are we going with this?" But I honestly lived for. I have not played since that.
Since then.
Since that, so I might get into that a little bit. Rest Friend, you might have to download it and play with me.
Can we play?
No, you can't play together. No.
You know what we could be doing?
What?
We buy the video games and we never even play them.
Yeah.
I had Sergio buy me WWE 2K, the one where Bad Bunny was on the cover.
Oh my
I've never played it. I only wanted it because I loved Bad Bunny at the time.
The other day I went to Target and Cody Rhodes, I think that's the new one. Cody was on the cover and I was like, oh my God, look at Cody. But he was discounted. So I was like, what is this? Is this the old one? I wasn't sure.
Oh my God, let me tell you something real quick about Cody. Okay, so I go to a K-pop store a lot, right?
Yeah. And Cody was there?
No.
Oh, I was like, at the K-pop store?
But it's across the street from a GameStop. And so one time I was there helping my friend and we were kind of going through it. I'm not going to get to his information, but we were kind of going through it, right?
Yeah.
And I was feeling a little off for a couple minutes. I look out the window and I see a Cody poster from 2K24, or is it 25?
I don't know.
Whatever, 2K something WWE, right? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, Cody just made me feel better. I turned around and I felt so much better. I'm not going to lie to you. Just by looking at his poster.
It happens. It absolutely happens. Why would you not feel better after seeing Cody Rhodes?
I know. I mean, you know, we first of all, in this house, we love Cody Rhodes.
Absolutely. This is a Cody Rhodes stan household. Yeah, great stuff, man. All righty. Let's continue with C2.
Let's continue, Rest Friend.
So we're going along and through the aisles and we're like, seeing what everything has, right? And I don't remember, at one point we like turned a corner and I heard you like say something and then you stopped and then Lo stopped and then I was like, what is going on?
Oh, I know
Yes.
where you're going.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is literally almost in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And I see a big banner and there's a picture of Lunette from Big Comfy Couch. And I'm like, let me find out Lunette is here.
Yeah.
I think I said Luna because don't we also call her Luna?
I
I
want to
don't
say it's like it's close, so I could
I said
see
something like that.
Yeah.
And Lo's like, what? And I'm like, I don't know. I just see a banner.
because Lunette from the Big Comfy Couch, which oh my goodness, her name is Allison Court, I believe. And Lo had sent me something because she had collabed with a clothing brand.
Yeah.
And they had just dropped like Molly hoodies, Lunette like clocks with like her in the middle, like how she used to do. So they did like a Big Comfy Couch collab, and like we were going back and forth because like some things were sold out, and I missed out on some stuff. So Lo had just like resent me the link because they had restocked some stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. So we had just been talking about that. And for you to say like, oh my God, she's here. We were like, wait a minute. We were not prepared for this.
Yeah, no, not at all. I don't think any of us knew that she was gonna be there.
Yeah.
I had no idea she was gonna be there. We weren't even sure yet until we got closer.
Yeah.
And we saw that she was in fact there. And we
That's
had
amazing.
a quick little moment, the three
That's
of us.
amazing. Yeah.
We had a quick little moment because I don't know, our whole childhood,
Yeah.
right? And then it looks like the three of us were in love with Big Comfy Couch
Yeah.
because that was just a moment for the three of us. The three of us were cheesing
Which is
so
crazy
hard.
because I did not know that the three of us had that in common.
Me
And for us to find
neither.
out in that moment, I'm like, wait, what?
Me
So I was
neither.
like processing that and processing her being there
Yeah.
because I used to have a little Molly. I had a Molly that I used to take everywhere. I don't know where she is,
Yeah.
but I loved that show. I was terrified of clowns. You know this, Rush Friend.
Yeah.
I hated clowns, but Lunette, I absolutely loved that show. She was just different for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too. It was just like a different time. Obviously, we were so little.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Something about that show is just so heartwarming.
Yeah, it really is. It
Yeah.
it warmed my heart. So
Yeah.
we decided we were gonna go take a picture with her.
Yeah.
And she was the sweetest woman, absolute sweetheart. It made my day.
Yeah,
It
me
genuinely
too.
made my day.
Me
Like,
too.
look at us. We're cheesing.
Yeah, we were so happy. That is so cute, Restaurant. Look at us.
It's just like, look at us. I was, oh my goodness. I went up to her and I was like, oh my God, I loved you so much. I was like, you were just like my childhood. I think we might have all said like
I
like
think we all
along the
said something,
same
yeah.
thing. And I was like, I used to clean up my room so fast when you used to tell us to clean. And she's like, I'm so happy. She's like, I'm glad you did that. And I was like, thank you. It just like validated me as a child.
Yes.
And I don't know. It was just like I needed to tell her things. I guess I'm like this with meet and greets too with wrestlers.
Me too.
That I just need to tell them how they made me feel. Just for me, for me, like they could go home and be like, all right, whatever, because everybody tells me this,
but it's for you.
It's for me.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when I was telling her, I was like, oh my God, I love you. And she like grabbed me and she's like, oh, like, I'm so glad you did that. I was like, oh my God, please don't. I said, I cannot. And then I was like, can I get a picture? She's like, absolutely. So then she reaches into her fanny pack and she pulls out her nose.
That moment, y'all. We all had another moment when she pulled out the nose. That was, for some reason, that just, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it when she put that clown's nose on. It was so freaking cute. I'm such an emotional person, and I don't care how extra that is, but that made me very emotional.
Yeah. It was, I'm gonna remember it forever.
For sure.
And I'm gonna have to go and buy the collab because I still have not done it yet. But amazing. Eddie, thank you so much. He says, you guys like Big Comfy Couch. Love that show when I was a kid. Honestly, it's iconic. It's iconic. And it definitely says something when we're still thinking about it as we're adults now.
Yeah.
It just made such an impact. I'm telling you, watching that just made me so happy. I used to throw myself on the floor and count and like try to stretch out and like everything that she did. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, me too. I loved when she went to go visit her grandma.
Yes.
That was my favorite, when she would go outside and visit her grandma. I don't know why I loved that so much.
Some childhood shows just actually hit different.
They actually really did, because they were so wholesome.
Yeah.
That was like such a wholesome show. And I think what I really loved about it too is that I was able to tell her too that, she was a huge part of my childhood, our childhoods, I said.
Yeah.
And she's like, thank you. She's like, and I really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
And I loved hearing that because that's not very common when it comes to child shows. And,
Yeah.
at the
And
age that she
actors,
was at that
yeah.
time. Yeah. So I really hope that she really did have a great time filming that show because, man, like, it was just a nice moment for us.
We were just in such awe.
Yeah.
And even like going, after we had all met her, I did not realize that she was a voice actress. So right next to that Lunette banner that you guys are seeing, right next to it, she had a Jubilee banner from X-Men. And I was like, oh my goodness, is she a voice actress? I was shook, Russ friend, because I'm like, that is incredible for her to like,
Yeah.
I mean, she has an amazing voice, of course. Like
Yeah.
that's what we grew up hearing. But it like threw me off that I'm like, there's no way that she's a voice actress because I do some voiceover work, but like she's genuinely like a voice actor. Like she
Yeah.
can change voices.
Yeah.
So she was also the voice of Jubilee in X-Men. And I'm like, that is incredible. So shout outs to her. She is incredible. And I'm just so excited that we got to see her and all experience that together.
Me too. I love that. I love that we had that moment together.
Mhm.
And I also love that, sometimes people say don't meet your
Don't meet
idols.
your idols, yeah.
Man,
Especially from your
Russ
your
friend,
childhood.
we've
Yeah.
been so lucky. Everyone that we meet has been so sweet to us
Yeah.
that I can actually sit here and be like, meet your idols.
Yeah.
Meet them.
I-
Because she was a sweetheart.
And I don't even think like the bad interactions that we've had people, I say bad very lightly because I think all of our interactions have been fantastic.
Yeah.
But even like the worst ones or like the not so great ones, I'm just like, they're just not so great. It's not that they're bad.
Like they could have been better.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think I've ever been like mistreated or gotten any bad vibes. I just feel like I have had one instance where I was like, I could have saved that money just because it wasn't the interaction I wanted. But at the same time, it was okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. Honestly, everyone that I've met that I actually genuinely love have been lovely.
I'm gonna go around in not the order that we met people in.
Yes.
But I'm gonna jump around a little bit.
Go ahead, Russ friend.
So we were walking by another table.
Yeah.
And basically, guys, C2E2 is just a bunch of rows of tables with talent, and all the way in the back of the building is like photo ops and specific meet and greets. That's where like you'll find like the Star Wars people, you'll find all the big celebrities, and then very at the end you'll have food courts and stuff. But meanwhile, it's just pretty much all aisles of people selling their merch, people, I don't know, just talent in general, right? Yeah. So we're walking by one of these tables and I see this man, and literally I like had to do a double take because I was like, that man is beautiful. But I knew why that man was beautiful because I recognized him and I was like, I know that guy. And I like stopped you guys and I'm like, I think that's a boy in motion. And I remember I saying it like that and I was like, what? Why did I say like a boy in motion? And I'm like, that is literally a boy in motion. And I'm like, that's one of the guys, that's the leader of Boys in Motion from That's So Raven.
Yeah.
And I loved That's So Raven restaurant. I still love That's So Raven to this day.
Yeah.
Raven Simone is one of my favorite actresses ever. And
yeah, because you're also a Cheetos girl.
Yes, because I love Cheetah Girls.
You love Cheetos girl.
God.
I mean, the Cheetos girl, the Cheetah Girls.
I am a Cheetah girl through and through. So I remember like That's So Raven was so vividly in my childhood. And when the Boys in Motion episode aired, I was 10 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, because it came out in 2005.
Okay.
And I was born in 95. So I was like, quick math for me. I was 10 years old when that episode aired. And I was like, oh my goodness, Boys in Motion, I am a fan. They had like hit singles, Russ friend, okay? I was so obsessed with this boy band. They had the hit anthem, which was Boys in Motion. Like, boys, we are the Boys in Motion. So they had that one. But then they also had like Bye 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 Home Cooking, which that's the only line in the song that was said. Because in the episode, Raven is such a fan of this boy band, and her dad owns a restaurant, and these guys, the Boys in Motion, which was the band, they are supposed to come and eat privately at the restaurant. And Raven could not shut up. And she was like, well, I was just bragging a little bit that the Boys in Motion were going to be at my dad's restaurant. And then all of the girls showed up to the restaurant while the Boys in Motion were there. So she's like, oh my God, I have to go and hide the boys. And I'm just going to take them to my house. And the boys were like, oh my God, we just can't believe that somebody gave away our location. And she's like, I wonder who did that. That is crazy. Not me. So she takes them to her house, and the Boys in Motion are living with her. And she convinces them, without wanting to stop touring, because they miss home cooking and they miss, being taken care of. And there's always girls everywhere. And she's like, no, you guys have to perform. I'm being so serious with you right now. So she takes them and is like, she goes to school the next day and tells everybody that the Boys in Motion are staying at her house. Which I'm like, girl, didn't we learn from the first time?
That's what Raven was, just pure chaos.
Yes, she didn't learn from the first time. So then one of the mean girls is like, you don't even know the boys. And Raven is like, I do know the boys. The boys are going to be at the talent show tonight, after they had just said they were quitting. Okay. And they're like, oh, no, we're not going to perform. And she's like, but I thought you guys said you guys were my boys and you loved me. Like, what's happening?
Us with the Young Bucks.
Yes. I thought we were boys. You guys sang to me, bye, home cooking. Yes. And a heartbeat. Like, they had hits. So Raven is like, the boys are not going to be here. So now we have to pretend to be the Boys in Motion. So she gets her two best friends to pretend to be the boys, and they get discovered immediately because they were being fake. So they're like, all right, sorry. Yeah, the boys actually just, they're never going to perform again. And then the audience starts cheering and everybody's like, what's happening? It's the Boys in Motion. And they sing the smash single. And if you've never watched That's So Raven, you don't have to anymore, because I just told you what happened in that episode.
She told you the whole episode.
It's like 15 minutes. I explained it to you in 3. So the Boys in Motion had my heart from then. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to go say something to him. I didn't in that moment.
You didn't, yeah.
But we went back later and I was like, oh my God, I loved you and That's So Raven. I was like, I loved the Boys in Motion. And he was like, boys, we are the Boys in Motion. And I was like, oh my God, best friend. I was not ready for it. I was so not ready for it. But that man was so sweet. I didn't take a picture with him, which I honestly regret.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he would have been great in a picture,
or even
a video. If I would have been like, I'm here with the Boy in Motion. Like, it's not just any Boy in Motion. That is the Boy in Motion.
That's true.
He was the lead singer. And he was also a Power Ranger, which I did not know. He was in One Tree Hill. I did not watch One Tree Hill.
He was in One Tree Hill.
So now I have to go back and watch One Tree Hill.
You should go back and watch One Tree Hill.
Is it good?
It is a very good teenage show. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
It's that like cringy drama,
Mhm.
but you just can't stop watching it.
Okay.
Nowadays, back then, it was definitely, you were on your couch, best friend, and I thought I was grown watching this. I was like, okay. But I did watch it back not that long ago.
Yeah.
And it's still
and
a
it's
good
pretty
show.
solid.
It is.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Mhm.
I'll definitely add it to my list.
If you had a crush on Chad Michael Murray, watch it.
Okay.
Did you?
No.
Wow. I haven't met that many millennials that didn't have a crush on Chad Michael Murray back in the day.
That's the guy who's in Cinderella Story, right?
Story. Yeah.
I don't know. I just wasn't.
I don't know. That's the guy.
He wasn't the guy for me.
What?
The guy for me was Ricky, Boy in Motion. Like, that was him.
Okay.
So interessante.
Yeah.
So I just didn't watch that Power Rangers either. I was watching like
no, me neither.
Space Patrol Delta. That's the one that I watched.
Oh, I have no idea.
It was like
what
Power
that is.
Rangers, SPD, Power Rangers to the rescue.
I only watched the first one.
Which one is that one?
That tells my age.
We gotta look them up. I don't know.
No, that is not it. Don't question me, rich friend. I don't
know. We don't know about this, guys.
It was the first Power Rangers. That's all I know.
But he
Sergio
was.
Text me right now and tell me.
Yeah, he said that Boy in Motion was a blue Power Ranger. He was, and at C2E2, he was at the booth with the Red Ranger, and that's them in that picture right there. But I knew them from the Boys in Motion, and he did not disappoint. He gave me. I didn't even pay for anything. He gave me my money's worth.
What else was the Red Ranger in? He looks familiar.
I'm sure he was in like a lot of stuff. So I'm sure they dabbled in like a couple of things, but
Sergio wants me to mention that Allison, aka Lunette, was also the voice of Claire Redfield of Resident Evil. For all my Resident Evil nerds out there.
Wow.
Like, yes, she
They're
was.
gonna be like, oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Shout out to you, Sergio. He should have phoned in.
Thank
for that
you, babe.
one.
I know, right?
We could have put him on camera. Okay, Sergio, what did you want to say?
That's a great idea.
It's like, all right, we got to phone a friend. All right, call Sergio.
Babe, can you tell me what's the Power Rangers that I used to watch when I was a
Yeah, because
child?
we're just fact checking really quick.
I just know that that's when the Yellow Ranger was still a girl too. Well, I mean, the Yellow Ranger still wore a skirt.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. Yeah. I do
yeah.
remember I used to have Power Ranger action figures when I was small.
You just don't remember. Best friend, I used to watch
I'm
Power
just
Rangers.
remembering this right now.
I used to watch Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball, and I don't remember anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I watched a lot of Boomerang when I was a kid. I watched a lot of
what was on Boomerang?
Scooby Doo, Where Are You?
Oh,
and Looney Tunes.
Johnny Bravo was
Johnny
it?
Bravo.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's like Cartoon Network. But
Oh.
then they showed up on Boomerang.
It
yeah.
was the same on the same channel.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So crazy.
All
Best friend,
right.
we did used to watch a lot of things together back then, though. Boys in Motion reminds me of you. Cheetah
Boys in
Girls
Motion.
reminds me of you.
I think I told you this, that I rewatched Cheetah Girls with my brother, and he said it was eh.
No, you didn't tell me.
Oh, well, he didn't like it.
Okay, well, to be honest with you, I wasn't the biggest fan. I liked it.
He said it wasn't realistic, and I'm like, how dare you? He said they started singing, and then the dog came up.
The drama was good. Anytime the girls were fighting and you had to take sides.
It was good. Yeah. So we go from one Ricky to the next. We then went to go to the Pro Wrestling Tees table that they had, and Ricky Starks was there. Mind you, I had just met Ricky 2 weeks before at WrestleMania at WrestleCon, and he sees me and Lo, and he's like, oh my God, he like recognized us. He waved. He was so super nice, and we chatted with him for a little bit. He was great. Ricky's always a good time. I think that's one of the things that I love about some wrestlers, that they're like, oh my God, like I do remember you. Like, yeah, I remember conversations or whatever. And he's just always a really, really nice guy. So 10 out of 10 for Ricky that day. And I bought a Ricky Starks t-shirt that day.
You did. You guys had a cute little conversation.
Yeah. And you bought some stuff. They had like, what was it? Pins?
They had pins. I bought a Eddie Guerrero pin. It's a Sriracha bottle. I forgot what it says, but it's Eddie Guerrero. And then I bought a Bullet Club Gold patch.
It was like Latino Heat or something, wasn't it?
I think
like
so.
A picture of Eddie?
Yes. In a Sriracha bottle. Yeah, you're right.
Man, good stuff. Good stuff. And then let's talk about injuries, because this is the not so fun part. Not so fun part here for the pod. But there is a lot of people injured, and great. Lo said, I did not expect to be on there. We both met him. It wasn't just me. I'm talking about both the experience, 10 out of 10. So let's talk about some of the people that are injured. So recently at the New Japan show, Eddie Kingston defended his championship against Gabe Kidd in a last man standing match. And during some part of that match, Eddie was like, his leg landed on a barricade, and it was just not good. And apparently Eddie Kingston is now injured. So that's very unfortunate. So I don't know how long we're going to not see him for on TV. But yeah, did you hear about Eddie's injury?
I did. I also saw the clips of
Oh my God, you saw the clips?
I saw the clips. I saw the clip of the injury, like when
did it look bad?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
Can
tell,
no. You can see the way his leg hits the barricade, rest friend. And then he just holds it afterwards. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad to see that.
No. I'm going to have to look it up after this. Ugh. I hate when wrestlers get injured.
You want to see I have it. You want?
I'm sure the wrestlers
y'all
also
want to
hate
see
a live reaction. Let's see it.
Sergio sent it to me.
That's crazy.
Ooh, wrong one. I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was Rest Friend. And he grabbed it.
He grabbed it immediately.
Oh my God. They were too it's because the barricades are too close to that. Like there's no way. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Eddie Kingston. I mean, I hope you get better quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I know this still sucks, right? But at least he doesn't have the championship anymore, so it's not something he would have to worry about. But I hope he's also not out for long. I hope he has a very quick,
speedy recovery.
Nice recovery.
Oh, okay.
Oh, rich friend, all your favorites, right?
My faves are injured. Oh my God, I didn't even add you to take your. Oh, just throw the whole episode away.
It's
How,
okay, rest
how did I
friend.
forget about Wheeler Yuta,
I
rest
don't think you
friend?
forget. I think it's the fact that we have talked about him, and it's okay, rest friend.
So Wheeler Yuta recently in a Fightful article, shout out to Sean Rossap because he gets all the chisme. It was said that Wheeler Yuta has been suffering from a couple of concussions or a concussion problem,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we haven't been seeing him on TV. And my worry is that how bad is it?
Yeah.
Because it's bad enough for him to not even be featured on his Ring of Honor show in his town, in his city when we were in Philly.
Right.
So for him not even to put together like a video package, something, he could have even just showed up with the belt and been like, "What's up, Philly?" Something like that. He didn't have to wrestle, but for him to not even be shown on camera, um, interesting because they're not even mentioning him on commentary when they reference the Blackpool Combat Club. Like he is the fourth member of the Blackpool Combat Club,
Yeah.
and I think I just don't want him to get forgotten.
Yeah.
And I feel like while you still have Brian Danielson pulling amazing matches, while you still have Claudio still wrestling, and John Moxley alone is doing amazing things, where is Yuta gonna fit if he's still the champion? Which I was kind of worried. I'm like, oh my god, he's injured and they're gonna let him go. But he's still the champion, and they haven't had him relinquish that title. So I'm just a little confused. But I love Wheeler Yuta. He's my favorite wrestler. So
Let's hope that he also has a speedy recovery, rest friend, and he does come back.
yes,
For him and for you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on to our queen, Julia, who just had surgery. I think she got injured. What side is that? The left side. I'm looking at the picture. I was like, what's that? Which one? Which side is that? All right, Miss Julia. She just got surgery. She posted that picture from her on her Instagram. And man, everyone's just getting injured. That's
unfortunately
very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Hobbs is also injured. Let's talk about Chucky.
Oh.
Best friend. I got the news also from a Fightful report.
Okay.
I actually have it pulled up over here because again, guys, shout out to Fightful. I am a Patreon member, and that's where Sean sends all the amazing scoops. But the first line alone says Chuck Taylor's career may be over, which I was like, oh, and that's all I needed to read. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, that's insane. Do we know when this injury happened?
I'm not sure because there hasn't been too much information out.
Yeah.
First of all, Trent himself hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
So I know that Excalibur explained his injury a
yeah.
little bit last night. I don't think there's that much information out besides that it's his ankle. And it's so sad. It's so freaking sad because me as a best friends fan, I've gone from like, okay, Chucky has not been on TV obviously he wasn't on TV for a long time, and then he started showing up with them just on the sidelines, right?
Mhm.
And then they start what's it called, like showing like they're possibly gonna split.
Yeah.
And yup, next thing you know, best friends break up, and now Trent is a heel and Chuck is with Orange.
Mhm.
And then they announced the
And
street fight,
and Orange lost the
the parking lot fight.
championship. Yeah.
And Orange lost the championship. And then they have the parking lot fight, Trent and Chuck.
Which is where I
So-
thought the injury happened, but I
so
don't
me
know
and
if it
them-
happened before.
I want to say it's before because it
Mhm.
has to be the reason why he was out, right, in the first place.
Right?
But it's like, damn, he was cleared to do that match, and now.
But how? Yeah, but now not really.
And that match was crazy. That
Mhm.
match was really fucking crazy. So I was not expecting this at all. I did not see this coming at all.
Yeah.
So when that came out, best friends breaking up made so much sense to me. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking, man. It's so heartbreaking. Taylor, to me, is young. Him and Trent haven't been able to. They didn't win the tag team championship, something that I waited for years since AEW started for them to be the AEW tag team champions, and now that's not gonna happen. It's so sad. I'm fucking sad. I'm really, really, really sad. I don't think anyone deserves that. Obviously, I don't think Chuck was I doubt Chuck was ready to end his career.
Yeah.
There was so much going on for him, and just like you mentioned about Yuta, I immediately thought, I hope Tony keeps him around.
Yeah.
Because
Because if you can't wrestle, then what's the point, right?
exactly, like I don't know these people personally, but to me Chuck Taylor just radiates a good person, and I'm like, I would hate the thought of this man just ending his wrestling career here. I would hate that. I would
Yeah.
really, really hate that. So I really hope, I don't know. I can't wait to hear from him. I
Mhm.
hope
Because he hasn't said
he's
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hope he's able to tell us a little something. And I wish him the best, man. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with him. Um, but yeah, Rich friend.
It's really unfortunate with the best friends because, again, like you said, they were never given the chance to be champions.
No,
And I think if it was ever going to be a time, they would have been one of the first ones to hold those titles
they should have
because they
been.
really held it down. Like throughout the whole pandemic, it was best friends.
They were at the AEW rally before AEW even Dynamite even debuted. They were at the
Yeah.
AEW rally, so it's like they should have been tag team champions already.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, fuck it, they weren't. But I'm like, that I'm sure that's coming someday. Well, now it's not happening.
No, it's not.
It makes me so sad. Also, I don't think I got to see an Awful Waffle in person,
Yeah.
which is extremely heartbreaking as well. As a wrestling fan, as a Chuck Taylor fan, I really wanted to see an Awful Waffle in person. I hope I get to see him this year.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna give him the biggest hug, even if he doesn't want it, because he doesn't look like a hugger. But I'm still gonna give him the biggest hug ever, and I'm not gonna let go. I'll be like, I love you, Chucky.
So, rumor is that Chuck Taylor had been training to be a coach and a producer for months now.
Yeah,
So, maybe he did have those plans to like step back from wrestling, but it sucks
it
that an
does.
injury has to like fast forward that, right?
Yes.
Because, like, let's say, oh, yeah. It's like kind of
Mhm.
retirement, right? You're hoping, oh, okay, I have this age that I want to retire, and like before that, I'm gonna do all of this. And then imagine you wake up and then the next day you're like, "Oh, I have to retire now?" Like I was not ready for that.
I
And that's
can't imagine
also
that feeling.
so like mentally
Yeah.
that has to be insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I cannot imagine that feeling. I mean, Chuck Taylor is someone that, okay, since unfortunately him and Trent haven't been able to have that many like victories on TV and AEW,
mhm,
they had, especially Chuck, had an amazing indies run.
yeah.
Amazing indies run.
And it's crazy because I feel like the way that they were so good in the indies, it just I don't know, something was just never like they were not able to reach that top in AEW.
Yeah, and I don't get it because that's exactly for me what AEW was for, to
Yeah.
showcase that kind of wrestling and
Yeah.
that kind of work, because he had intergender matches, and
Mhm,
not only the intergender ones, just like, the other matches, they just did the craziest shit
mhm,
that I wish we would have been able to see
yeah.
that stuff in AEW from him. Especially, he's hilarious, he's amazing in the ring.
Mhm.
I don't know what it was though. I don't know what it was.
And you know what? They did have some things that I thought were hilarious, but it was in the vlogs. It was in
Yes.
BTE.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we seeing this in BTE? Put this on TV
Yeah.
so we can see what the best friends are. Because, yeah, Orange Cassidy got pushed to the moon.
Yeah.
People loved Orange. But again, it's like it was the best friends, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander became huge. But it's like they were just like best friends. AEW was doing something that I feel like it was just getting lost in translation with how they were being
Yes.
featured, with what
Yes.
they were having them do. And it's unfortunate
It is.
because look at where we are now.
Exactly.
We're
No,
not going to have
exactly.
this team.
They had, like, if anyone read the Young Bucks book, or if they know anything about the Young Bucks, it's like they chased their dream, right?
Mhm,
And that's exactly what Trent, I mean, what Trent too, but what Chucky
mhm.
was doing as well. These were people that were traveling to so many different countries just to wrestle, just to do what they love. For me, those are especially the people that deserve it, the ones that have been chasing their dreams for years, even while they were broke, even
Mhm.
while they didn't have anything to even get on these planes, or they barely had the money to buy their airplane tickets, but they didn't have money to eat. These are the people to me that deserve that big recognition in wrestling. And unfortunately, Chucky, like, that was cut short for him.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's
It's
very heartbreaking. It's so sad. It's so sad, especially when it's one of your favorites. You feel it more, obviously.
yeah.
And it's so sad. I really hope that he's doing amazing though
Mhm.
mentally. I hope
Yeah.
Chucky's is doing amazing. Yeah.
And we still don't know like I mean, I guess Excalibur said it was something about um Geez, I don't even. Oh, right here.
Oh, you have
The
it.
Taylor's fractured ankle has caused bone necrosis, and fragments are now underneath his cartilage. Which I'm so sorry, Excalibur. I don't know what any of that means, so I'm gonna have to Google that.
So I have a little bit more of a
Oh,
okay.
you have
So
it? Okay,
a little bit, yeah. It
perfect.
says the fracture led to an actual bone necrosis and fragments underneath the cartilage,
Mhm.
meaning the bone fragments themselves died and could not be healed. Hmm. So it's like, what? What do you mean?
I didn't know bones could die.
Right?
I'm
Me
learning this.
neither.
So then
So crazy.
now I have more questions. Oh
I
my goodness.
I
I'm so
know
sorry,
that
Chucks.
I know that it's kind of common in people that like something happens to their bones that they have to be injected something and then their bones something like that, restaurant. I don't know. I shouldn't have said that because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do know that people get injected with something and then they have to wait for their bones to heal again. But I had no idea that bones just die and stop working and can't be healed, and people's careers have to be over because of it.
I know some people have to, I guess, because like people who have arthritis,
Mhm.
like they will get injections later on because like the cartilage wears out,
Oh,
and like that's
I
why you
think
have
that's
to
what I was
like.
talking about. I think that's what I was talking about. I think that's
That's
what I heard.
crazy.
So crazy. So sad. Also, an ankle. Like that's what's keeping my boy from wrestling.
Mm-mm.
His ankle.
It's insane. I wonder if I have a picture of Kenny on here. I want to say I don't. I don't think I do.
It's okay. We all know who Kenny Omega is.
Oh my god, can I tell you? I was watching wrestling this past. Was it not this Wednesday? I think past Wednesday when Kenny
Mhm.
came back to address the
Oh,
audience.
yeah, last Wednesday.
So Kenny came back, right? And my mom knows who Kenny Omega is, so she was watching with me. And then, of course, we had like Jungle Boy come out, right? And I
The
want to
Young
say
Bucks
the
and
Young Bucks came out,
Okada.
yeah. And my mom was so worried. She's like, "Oh my god, why is he in there?" And I was like, "Mom, and he's injured." And I was still like explaining
Yes.
to her, I was like, "This is everything that he's saying, that like he was going to die."
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "Entonces, ¿por qué está ahí? ¿Quién
Mhm.
lo manda?" Like she was so worried. Like she's like, "Why is he out there? He is gonna get injured."
Mhm.
And they brought the chair out, and then he
Mhm.
took the hit, and I was like, "What is going on?
No,
Are you
literally.
injured? Are you not injured? Did you get surgery?" I was like, "Did you not get surgery? What is going on? I'm so confused."
And he's not only taking these hits on the back or anything, on his
Honestly, like,
abdominal. Like, I know. I was watching that, like, wait a minute, did you not just say that you could die?
yes,
I remember him. I think Sergio told me that in his Twitch, he said that he even has to be careful with his cats. His cats can't walk on him because that could kill him. And he's
Kenny,
taking chair shots.
can you be so serious right now? I need you to call in right now to the Rest Friends podcast
And explain
and
yourself.
explain yourself, because I was telling my mom, I'm like, I'm hoping that that day he got the surgery, or if not, a week later, because I would rather be out and not wrestling, which he has not been wrestling, which that's what's making me assume that he did get the surgery
Right.
and now he's just healing up. But I would assume and hope that you got it right then and there, as opposed to not knowing when something could go wrong and you could die then, right?
That's what I thought too. But now apparently he is gonna get the surgery.
Mhm.
So I don't know, best friend.
Because I'm like, there's no way that you're saying, "Oh, I'm gonna get the surgery," but you're taking bumps on TV.
I don't know either. I don't know either. That was honestly very confusing. Yeah, I don't know
I don't like it.
who cleared that. Who cleared it? Who let him
Tony,
go out there?
Tony, be so serious right now. And rumor was that he was not ready to be back on TV. He just
Right.
started being advertised for the show.
Right.
And Kenny was like, "Oh, well, I guess I have to show up now because I'm being advertised for the
Oh.
show." He's like, "Oh, I guess I'll show up now." What is going on? Man, but you know something that I honestly have been enjoying
Tell me, best friend.
is Jungle Man. Scapegoat, Jungle Boy
You have.
joining the Elite. I am an Elite girly. I am a Jungle Boy Jack Perry fan since day one. Since day one, when it was Jurassic Express with Marco Stunt
Yeah, that's true.
and Luchasaurus. So he's always going to be Luchasaurus for me. I'm never going to call him. What's the other? What's
I
Kill
forgot.
Switch?
Oh, kill switch. There
Oh
you go.
my
There you
god.
go.
Unas veces se inventan unas cosas, best friend.
No, best friend, because
I
how
was
does
like,
that
where did you?
even
I was like, where did you
fit?
come out? Like, bro, be so serious.
Like, what do you mean kill switch and you look like a whole dinosaur?
And you're still just, at least change the gimmick.
Literally.
Come on.
Look like a switch. I mean, look like a kill switch. What even is a kill switch? I just know kill switch engaged the band.
Same. That was my knowledge.
That's all I know.
I was like, all right, let's go with it. So recently, you know, Jack Perry was in the ring and he's like, Tony, just reinstate me. I've always wanted what's best for AEW. And I believed him, best friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I know you always wanted the best. And Tony's like, all right, let's do this. Let's hug it out. And you see Jack Perry look into the camera. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. Like I knew something bad was going to happen, best friend. But I didn't think what happened was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like he hit him and then Tony pegó el brinco. Like he hit the little jump. And I was like, okay, now Tony, sell it. Period. I love that. And then Tony was just like struggling, right? And of course, the Bucks come out, Okada comes out, and they're like, What are you doing? This is our boss. You can't be serious. And at one point, Matt and Nick had each of Tony's arms, and I was like, oh my God, they're about to fucking pull a V trigger right now. I was like, this is over. This is over. I was like, Tony, I'm so sorry. And they didn't do it. And I was like, okay.
Such a good segment.
Interessante. And they didn't do it. But next thing you know, I think Matt was the one that's climbing the apron and Nick was the one that was holding.
No, the other
Tony
way around.
was the other way around. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Tony Khan.
Yeah.
It
all
happened so fast.
For me, it was the way he sold Jack Perry's
okay.
That was like the punch. That's exactly how I would have sold the restaurant.
There was a little 2-second delay. Okay.
Yes, there was. And you know what? I can't judge him because that would have been me.
That would have been me too.
That would have been me.
Say what you want about Tony Khan. He loves wrestling.
Exactly.
And I love wrestling. So I love Tony Khan. That's the math. That's the math.
I mean, for me, there's a love and hate relationship, but I mostly tolerate him for sure. I mostly love him.
90% love Tony Khan.
For sure. But I think when that 10% when we're upset at him, we're honest.
Oh, it's honestly.
It's real.
It's a real 10%.
It's from two Chicagoans
to another Chicagoan.
To another adopted Chicagoan.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Tony Khan, I need to put this full screen a little bit bigger. I'm going to try all the layouts. That one's fine. That's a little bit more respect. There we go.
Realize.
Look at the way he is laying on the floor, Rust friend. Why is he laid out like that? Are you? And there's so many angles. There were so many angles.
Matt holding him. Stop. That looks hilarious. I love that.
Jesus Christ.
I wish we could frame that.
We can, Rust friend.
Like I'm talking about the video. You know what I mean? Oh. Like the whole thing.
Because look at first of all, I was cracking up, Rust friend, for a solid 5 minutes when I was getting these pictures for the slideshow because I found the first one and I was like, oh my God, Tony. I was like, his arms are in the air like this, like laying. And then he's like, look at his little chamarra, his little jacket. It's like up here to his chest. Like when you wake up, it's sometimes, I don't know if this ever happens.
I know what you're gonna say.
Like when you're sleeping and you got like a big t-shirt on, but then in the morning, like the t-shirt's like up here.
Or a tank top.
Or the tank top. Oh my God, don't sleep in the tank top.
That's a whole other different conversation.
That's what Tony looks like right now. Okay. He was flat on that mat.
On the mat.
And then the second picture, I was like, there's more angles? People were taking their pictures for this. They were getting their money's worth. And then, of course, everybody comes out after the Bucks leave. And I'm like, really? Everybody was backstage and now you come out and nobody comes out now?
Yeah.
That's my dad's biggest problem with wrestling. He was like, where was everybody then?
No,
and I'm like, that wouldn't make sense, Daddy. It's not part of the story.
No, honestly, I'm never going to move on from that. Ever since I was a child and I was watching Shawn Michaels get
beat up,
I'm like, why isn't anyone coming? Why can't they go look at the camera and see what just happened too? Like, excuse me?
Exactly. You're going to tell me they were all in the same spot and it took them 3 minutes where Tony was getting beat up to then finally come out?
Exactly. Their boss.
No way.
You know what? That tells everything, my friend.
And then Tony's dad came out and was like,
so right.
It was giving, like, I don't know if you ever saw Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Yes.
When Robert Pattinson died, when his dad was coming out, he's like, my boy.
Mm-hmm. That was his dad?
Yeah.
Just standing there.
He was worried.
Did I read that he was actually worried for a second?
I don't know.
Thought it was real or something?
I don't know.
I believe
that is
so.
So funny.
I don't think anyone told him.
It was probably Tony's idea. He's like, don't tell my dad. And then tell him to go out there. Oh my God. Insane. Genuinely insane. And then the next day, I don't know if you saw this, but the next day was the NFL draft. And as we know, Tony is the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Tony Khan is just insane because look at him.
This is where I say I love Tony Khan.
Look at him. He wore that neck brace all day.
And it's the way he was talking about wrestling and football content,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah.
he was legit talking like they beat me up and like I'm injured now. And it's like, I love that shit. I love that he didn't downplay. He talked like, yeah, this shit actually really fucking happened to me.
I love that it has his little title down here, the Tony Khan, Jaguars Chief Football Strategy Officer and AEW owner with his little neck brace. Sometimes wrestling does deliver.
No, it does.
Really, really does. Let's talk about someone else real quick before we end the show. So sorry if you guys wanted us to talk about WWE, but that's not on the rundown for today. We would have
been here for hours.
We will get to it, okay? And then especially with everything that's happening with the bloodline, we promise next time we'll talk about it. I'm catching up on what's happening in the bloodline because I feel like everything's happening so quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many new members, right?
Yes, and then the draft happened, and there's also injuries on WWE side, which we'll talk about it next week. We promise we will stream. We're going to talk about it. Don't worry. But I want to talk about Mercedes Moné, Miss Sasha Banks, but Mercedes in AEW. And she is gonna have her match for a championship at Double or Nothing against Willow, who is the TBS champion. And I want to get your thoughts on this because I loved Sasha Banks in WWE. She had one of my favorite matches against Charlotte in the main event on Raw for that championship, and it was a Falls Count Anywhere match. I feel like I always talk about this match, but it's like one of the matches that I loved. And you also have a favorite match that she's had with Bayley.
Her whole series with Bayley, yeah, when they were in NXT.
Amazing.
Yeah.
She has just delivered for me in WWE. So I really wanted her to go back to WWE because I feel like she had that, but she went to AEW. Totally fine. What do you think about her not wrestling and now getting a championship opportunity at a pay-per-view?
I've never liked that. I really don't care who it is, whether it's a very well-known wrestler that has been working their asses off for years and they just debuted. No, I feel like in respects to the other wrestlers, she should have been having matches and I guess showing us why the heck she even deserves this championship, right? As in AEW.
Yeah.
I understand that we know what Mercedes Moné is made of and what she can bring to the ring and everything, but we haven't been watching her on there. And all of a sudden she has this match. And what? Like, are we going to sit here and act stupid and pretend like she's going to lose that?
Oh, okay. I also want to talk to you about that because I don't want Mercedes to win.
Right. Because I don't want Willow to lose.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I'm going to say I don't think that she should win.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess it's a tricky situation because there's rumors that she's not cleared yet, and that's why she hasn't been wrestling. But if she wasn't cleared yet, why would you show her? I know it was like big business for that purpose, but you also had Okada debut that night too, I believe.
Yeah.
So I get it. We were going to be in Boston, but if she wasn't going to wrestle, maybe you should have held off on that.
Was it Okada the same night? I don't even remember anymore.
I want to say maybe it was Okada that night, or maybe Okada was before. It might have been. Yeah. Thank you for refreshing my memory. Thank you, restaurant. But I honestly, I don't think that was a smart decision. If she wasn't going to wrestle, don't have her show up.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know either. I think I really don't see what's the point of all of a sudden just putting her in a pay-per-view match.
And people love Willow. I absolutely love Willow.
That's the thing, yeah. I feel like that's where it all gets lost too. Like not just is she just jumping onto this match all of a sudden at a pay-per-view, even though we haven't seen her wrestle. But now it's also Willow's championship on the line, and we haven't even seen her with the championship for that long.
Yeah. Eddie's saying that Mercedes winning the TBS title would be great for overall women's division and give it mainstream appeal. Yes, I see that a little bit, but because she was on, the Mandalorian, I believe.
Mhm.
But she is out there. I don't know. I don't think that can be argued.
I mean, it's because they could have at least given us more.
Yes.
They could have given us something to be excited for this match at
Mhm.
least. I know we're still a week or two away.
Yeah. If you were going to have her
A
be
week.
like the mainstream appeal, you got to keep having her out there. You got to keep having her do things. And I just need to see her wrestle. I just want to see her
Yeah,
wrestle.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's
So,
like 2 weeks away. I don't think that's enough time to what 2 Wednesdays to give us Mercedes Monet.
mhm. And I'll be at the event, but I'm not going to be excited if Mercedes wins that championship because Willow just got that title. And you're going to tell me, "Oh yeah, we gave that title to Willow just for her to be a transactional champion." And it just doesn't make sense to me. And I get it, Julia was injured, but there's just so many ways you could have went about this because in comparisons to like how other women were brought in, let's say Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo had great matches leading up to her match with Toni Storm, and she still didn't win. So maybe also she might not win the match, right?
I
Mercedes
don't
might
know.
not win.
Yeah,
But I don't see where you would bring in Mercedes Monet, who we know has a big she's got a big appeal, right?
yeah, yeah.
But it's just like no, I don't see that happening. I don't know. And especially if you're gonna advertise that she's like, I guess not advertise, but one of the biggest paid women's wrestlers and she's not wrestling.
Yeah, I'm just hoping, Rich friend, that if she is going to win a Double or Nothing, that at least then we start getting more from her.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Because also, I mean, as much as I loved Jade and AW and what she did do in AW, especially while she was the champion,
Mhm.
we also could have seen more.
Absolutely.
So I hope that's not the case with Mercedes. I hope
Mhm.
we don't have to keep asking for more. I hope we get more matches with Mercedes and other wrestlers, not the same,
Mhm.
not the same woman every single time,
Mhm.
but just something different and give us more. I feel like that's the thing. That's always the thing when we talk about women's wrestling. Whatever the topic is, when it comes to women's wrestling, we always have to say this: why can't we get more? Why are we getting matches all of a sudden that sometimes don't even make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest, I think, also things that have happened in the women's division is that women get brought in, but then kind of forgotten.
Yes.
So what happened to Taya Valkyrie?
Yeah.
She is amazing. She can work. She knows the business. Where is she? What is she doing? Deonna Purrazzo has had great matches. I feel like she's on that route to be kind of like put back. And I'm just like, we can't have this. We absolutely cannot have this. Anna Jay, where is she?
Yeah.
You had her and she was one of the fan favorite factions in the Dark Order.
Mhm.
And now what's the Dark Order doing? Nothing. And then with Anna, it doesn't make sense. So I'm just a little confused.
Sighs.
But I'm rooting for Willow at Double or Nothing. And let's say Mercedes puts on a banger of a match. I'm going to be like, oh, okay, great. I know you can have bangers of matches. Let's continue them.
Mhm.
Let's continue this because she makes history. So
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. I'm
We'll
at a
see.
loss for words now.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens, Rush friend. We're definitely gonna talk about that after Double or Nothing.
Yeah. I will also be vlogging that. So make sure that you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel. We are on our way to 2,000 subscribers. And I remember still making that video when we had 100 subscribers. It's like it was yesterday. I remember it was
Yeah.
in my living room. People were like, oh my God, are you guys going to stop Rest Friends? And we're like, no, we just hit 100. Thank you so much for your support.
And we're still not going anywhere.
And we're still not going anywhere. We're going to be here forever. Okay. So make sure that if you guys liked what you saw today and you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe so you get to see more of our content. We literally have so many things on this channel. Like I said earlier, interviews, vlogs. We have literally when we go to the shows we record. We
Mhm.
have everything on there. Reactions, just so much variety. So yes, give us a subscription if you have not subscribed yet. And make sure you leave a like, a comment.
Yes, please. interact with us just like you interact here.
Yeah.
Give us those likes.
Yeah. And follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And I still have Twitter on it. I'm never going to call it X.
Me neither, ever. I
Period.
forget that it's called X.
It's so weird. People are like, oh, yeah, did you guys go on X? I'm like, X? What is that?
No, I don't.
It throws
I don't
me
have
off.
an X. What is it?
That throws me off. So if you guys stuck around for all hour and 10 minutes of this podcast, of this live stream, thank you so much. Rest friend, what do you have to say to our rest friends?
Oh my gosh. I don't rest friend. Why are you putting me on the spot? Thank you. No, rest friend, you said it all. No,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much. We always say the same thing. We love it when you interact with us. We love it. I honestly, it literally is my favorite being on the stream and seeing everybody's comments. It's like my favorite thing to do. Like you said, we'll be back and we'll talk about everything else. I don't want anyone feeling like we hate WWE. We don't. We just didn't have much time today. We would have been here for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because there is so much going on in WWE.
There is.
So much, so much new talent that I want to talk about.
The titles.
We have the titles. Yeah. No, but we'll promise we'll be back to talk about that. But either way, thank you guys so much for the support with whatever we bring out.
We appreciate it. And just thank you guys for always being rest friends.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We will see you guys next time. So bye. You can say bye. They're still hearing.
Oh, bye.